Guys, can you believe it? My birthday bag, my birthday Bali Kelly bag that I just got in July. So here we are, end of October. So it's like, what, three and a half months? It's broken. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this handle. It's completely been dislodged from the hardware that holds it. I was literally at the petrol station, or you guys call the gas station. I was getting a coffee. I grabbed my bag from the top handle and pop, here it's come loose. I was in shock. A bit of panic, and I had a closer look, and it looks like one of the screws has gone missing. I have no idea if when I first bought this bag, and guys, this is the perils of buying pre-loved, vintage, secondhand, is that sometimes there's something about the bag that you're not aware of. Maybe something about the bag that the seller themselves is not aware of. So I don't know if this bag was missing that one screw when I first got it because it wasn't declared and I never looked at it. I have no idea. But after 3 months of use, look at that. That's terrible. I literally panicked. Was on my way to the dog park, so I left my bag in the car so they wouldn't get further damaged, and I didn't want to lose the existing screw. So here I am to show you guys the real life perils of buying pre-loved and vintage and used designer handbags. So this bag cost me $300 US or 500 Australian dollars. It's very disappointing that after 3 months the handles come off. So I'm going to take you guys along with me today to try and fix this myself and try to screw it back in. And I'm still going to be missing a screw, but I'll see if I can get a replacement screw later on. But we're going to use that one screw that I have to try to screw it back in. And I want your guys' opinion in that. This was rank A. Or was it rank B when I bought it? Rank A or rank B? So it was like new. So not brand new unused. But it was like new when I bought it. And I thought it was a really good deal. Well, it's not really a good deal. 3 months later, this happens. But let me know your opinion. Is that reasonable or not reasonable for this to happen to a pre-loved vintage bag about 3.5 months after you buy it? This was my birthday bag, guys. So this is a bit disappointing that this has happened. Actually, last night, I was about to buy another one of this exact same bag in a chocolate brown from Vestiaire Collective. So it was about 450-ish Australian dollars. You know, still about 300 US dollars. And I decided against it. And then look what happened the next morning. My existing bag broke. So now I'm kind of thinking, wow, that was a good thing that I did not buy the chocolate brown one from Vestiaire Collective. What do you think? Was that a good decision or bad decision? Because I think if I had bought it and the next morning this had happened, my heart would have sank. I would have, oh my gosh, that might have been a mistake. Okay, so I'm going to change the angle of the camera now. We're going to try and screw this back in together. Okay, so here's a bird's eye view of what I'm doing. So first, I'm going to unscrew the existing screw in here to make room for the strap to go back in. I have no idea if the second screw is missing because I don't have it. I looked around to where I put the bag today and it's not anywhere to be seen. So potentially it was missing from the beginning. So I'm putting the strap back in. And I'm trying to line up the holes. Okay, I think I've got that lined up. And now we're going to screw this back in. So I might have to go to the hardware store and buy another screw to replace the one that's missing. This is a really awkward angle. Okay, so I'm screwing it back in now. If you're wondering what sort of screwdriver I'm using, I'm just using those little, really tiny ones that you use for glasses. So I think that's reinforced. I'm going to reinforce the other two now. Okay, the other side was pretty reinforced. Okay, so this one's back in now. Okay, so let's go back to our normal angle. Okay, so we've got the top handle back on there now, but I only have one screw, meaning I have uneven pressure or weight on this side. So I'm not really happy with that. So I'm going to try and find a replacement screw for the one that's missing. If you guys know where to get replacement small tiny screws for handbags from, please put it down in the comment section. Like, let me know, do you get it from eBay, from Amazon, from Temu, wherever? Let me know where to get it from, because I really think that needs to be replaced. As I said, I have no idea if that was missing in the first place or if I've simply lost it, because I've looked around where the handbag was today and I can't find any little screws. So potentially it was already missing when I first got it, because I didn't think to look there when I was checking the bag over. So that is a lesson learned for me, that when I buy a pre-loved handbag, I need to check that the screws are all where they should be, because that is something that I have missed. Another example of a bag that's top handled like this is my Concord, my vintage Louis Vuitton Concord here, which I'll just grab. So the screws on this one is pretty obvious. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. And the screws are also on 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's pretty obvious because it's like facing you, so you would know if a screw is missing or not. But because this one, the screws were facing inwards, or what we call medially, you're not really going to look there. So I would implore everyone, if you're buying a top handle bag and the hardware and the top handle is screwed into the hardware, please check your bag over where, if there should be screws, if they're all there, because now it's a mystery to me as to whether or not it was an undisclosed flaw, or if it was maybe some damage that I had inflicted onto the bag. Now I have no idea. And these are the true and real life perils of buying vintage and secondhand bags, is that potentially there's something that the seller missed, potentially there's something that I missed, and now we will never know. So I do feel a little bit disappointed that after 3 months my top handle came off. Whether or not that's the seller's fault or my fault, I really don't know. But buying pre-loved and secondhand designer handbags is not all roses. There are going to be flaws that you need to be aware of, or you need to accept that can happen. Was I panicked by it? Yeah, well, no, because I'm out and my top hand goes pop. So yeah, I was panicked by it. I mean, was I overly shocked? Kind of yes, kind of no. I mean, like, it's secondhand, so I'm kind of starting to already get used to this after like 5 years of collecting. So if you're someone who cannot handle these sort of like potential surprises, I would say don't shop secondhand. Not to say brand new bags can't have these sort of problems, but they're more likely to happen with a used vintage 20-year-old bag. Like this bag is, I don't know from when, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, who knows, but over 20 years old, I reckon. So it's good that it's held up like this long. So let me know, after hearing this story of what happened to my top handle, do you think that that is a turn-off for buying secondhand bags, or does that not deter you from buying vintage secondhand bags? And let me know if you have a story of something that shockingly happened to your bag, where something fell off or broke off or came off that caught you by surprise while you were out, and you were a little bit panicked in that moment, because I'd love to hear your stories too. And let me know how that affected your pre-loved or vintage designer handbag buying journey. Now for me, I am used to having to kind of do things to my bag, like clean out sticky interiors of vintage Louis Vuitton bags, which I have a tutorial for here, or having to polish hardware on vintage designer handbags, which I have a tutorial for here. Now one thing I have not yet had a solution for is, see the top handle here is pretty straight, but the top handle on this vintage Louis Vuitton bag it's kind of a bit skewed. It actually leans to one side. It might potentially look straight at the moment because I hang it on this hook, but if I leave it unhung for a while, it's going to start leaning over to one side. So if anyone knows a solution on how to straighten this out besides hanging it, let me know, because after I stop hanging it, no matter how long I hang it for, it starts getting skewed again to one side. So I would really love a solution for that. So at this point in time, I'm glad I didn't buy the chocolate brown version of this, because I was getting ready to think about what I wanted for Christmas, my Christmas bag. And at first I was feeling a bit of FOMO that I didn't buy because someone else ended up buying it. And I was like, oh, darn it, I missed out. It's like a rare color, chocolate brown. It's more common to find a black one. But honestly, after this happened, I was like, oh, probably good. I didn't get that one. And I had another subscriber. I was initially hanging the clochette and the padlock off my bag, and I had a subscriber tell me that they were concerned, like they would take it off because they were concerned it was going to cause some scratching on the box leather, because box leather is quite delicate sometimes, it's easy to scratch. So I have actually taken your advice and I've taken the clochette and padlock off, so they are no longer dangling on the bag. Let me know, do you guys dangle your clochette or your keys or your padlock on your bag, or are you concerned it's going to scratch your bag too? Now I am still in the process of looking for a Christmas bag, and I'm torn between vintage Louis Vuitton, vintage Gucci, or vintage Bally. But this kind of just turned me off a little bit of getting another Bally Kelly. So now I'm more leaning towards vintage Gucci. Let me know what's on your potential Christmas wish list for a bag for yourself. Or let me know if you're not doing a bag for yourself as a Christmas present. Now, if you guys haven't already seen, I did stop making YouTube videos for a month, and I do explain why here. And if you guys haven't already seen how I refurbish my vintage Louis Vuitton bags when I first get them, I'm going to leave that video here.